Folsen TV, welcome to this episode. Of course, we're here with the General Secretary of the FMU, Mr. Of course, we're going to be talking more about the Pearl of Africa Rally. I take this opportunity to welcome you back from the Pearl of Africa Rally. Hope it was a very nice event for you, whoever is watching this interview. Mr. Ray, welcome to Folsen.
Thank you, my brother, for hosting me once again.
Yeah.
Full Send is quickly becoming one of the leading online TV, and for motorsport, I think it is an area many of us are going to embrace. Yeah,
We're very glad for that. Okay, Mr. Ray, at the start of this week, we received some bad news of Mr. The FIA delegate. Of course, he passed on yesterday. I don't know, as a federation, personally, starting with you as a person, any relationship, of course, that you had with him, Mr. William?
this is what a way to start the interview. William was a personal friend. I have known William for maybe five years. William was mentored by another friend of mine, Willie Duplessis. And as Willie got older and tired, he passed on the mantle to William and introduced him to me around maybe 2019, 2020, when we were going into COVID. Then William passed on. I mean, then Willie passed on. Both were Williams, actually. Willie passed on, and William took over. He was such an energetic person. I always made sure that I pick him personally from the airport every time he came here. He came here several times, not just during the rallies, but also outside of the rallies to train our safety marshals. So he has had a lot of impact on motorsport in Uganda. He has had a lot of impact on safety in Pearl. And he majorly came here after, you remember when we had the yellow card and the FIA sent so many people here to help Uganda, improve and come out of the yellow card, especially post-COVID. And since then, he became a mainstay in motorsport in Uganda and in Africa at large. So Uganda is hurt because William had become more or less a Ugandan, but the entire Africa is hurt because one, it was very shocking. People did not know if he was sick or not. But in retrospect, being the indestructible guy that he was, he must have had some ailment which he'd never let stand in the way of his passion for motorsport. So William, we are going to miss him. We are going to miss his energy, his passion, his mentorship, but his legacy is not going to be forgotten because I think he's the single most individual that has had an impact on the Africa championship than anybody else. He has gone at a time when he was struggling to ensure that the championship stays. And every other day he would call me and tell me, Ray, make sure that we do not lose the Africa Rally Championship in Africa. I want to help Africa. That was him. And when I received the news yesterday in the morning, he had passed on at 6. I got a call at about 7:30. I couldn't believe. I thought I was... then Yasin Nasser called me because they were very much in touch. They were friends with Yasin Nasser. And it is Yasin who confirmed the news to me. Because when I first got the information from a colleague at the FIA, it was, but when Yasin called me, that was the confirmation. So William is going to be missed, but his legacy is going to remain. The impact he has had on safety in motorsport in Africa is going to remain, and I hope that we are able to get somebody who can continue his works.
Okay. Anyway, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Mr. Ray, coming back to the Pearl of Africa Rally, personally, how do you describe this 2026 edition of the Pearl of Africa Rally?
This Pearl was a great success in terms of both competitively and organizationally. This Pearl, for me, it had its background challenges, challenges that never stood in the way of its success. Because for those of you who were aware, in as much as we had a lot of sponsors on board, the Pearl also had a lot of logistical challenges because we had delayed funding from the government, who is our major partner in sports. But this did not stand in the way of the Pearl succeeding. So it was a huge success. We had record entry list. We had record entries from outside of the country. So for you to have a cast of 65 entries, 23 of whom are from outside doing the ARC, we had not had this. For those of you who know, since COVID, the Pearl has had 2, 3, or even one ARC entries. Not the Pearl, but the ARC, has had very, very few entries. So this is a rejuvenation, and Uganda has led the way. And we hope that this can continue through the entire circuit this year, and let it be the beginning of a championship that we knew back in the years of the Shekametas, the Swatan Singhs, the Mona Singhs, those years, those glory years when we had all those entries, the Riaz Kurjis, the Emma Katos, Charles Mohanji, when it was really, really competitive. We want that back so that it remains unpredictable to the end of the last event.
What stood out for you in the whole event?
For me, what really stood out for me, one was the entries. You know, this Pearl had all these entries, but the cars that came here, you had the Ford R5s, you had the Skodas, you had the Toyota Yaris. All those are WRC material vehicles. So for me, that was very, very important, that an event like this one is able to attract the best of the best vehicles on the African continent. The fact that we were able to attract drivers from outside the African continent, people coming from India to come and compete, was for me a demonstration of the confidence that this event has amassed over the years, and especially for this year. And this was not by mistake. Last year, we made an intentional decision to move the Pearl from the central region, and we move it to the western region. We also made an intentional decision to move the Pearl and Motorsport from just being a racing event to an event that showcases the tourism potential of our country, the business potential of our country, and these things have paid off. people are now able to come, not just to race, but to have an experience of our country, to have an experience of motorsport in Uganda. And I think the stories from last year have been the motivator mainly for more people to come and enjoy motorsport beyond just racing. Yeah.
Mr. According to this event, how successful can you say maybe this event was, talking about all the things that we've been talking about, that it was a successful event? Maybe how can you describe that this event was very successful for the FMU?
I have said that this success was both competitively and organizationally. From the competitive point of view, you'll see that the number of cars that came, the number of the cars, the Ugandan cars, the level of preparation. It's not every day that you have 65 entries and 60 actually start. It's not every day. So for me, the fact that Ugandan cars passed scrutineering is a show of the level of improvement from our local drivers. The fact that you had all these entries and only a few of them were no-shows, just about 4 were no-shows. So when the cars, the engines started to rev on the qualifying stage, the stage was set for the PAL. We knew that it is going to be a very competitive event for the drivers. Yeah. We knew that our local drivers were going to be given a run for their money. And at this very point, I want to give credit to Yasin Nasser. Carrying the burden of being an African champion, you're the man to beat. Everybody comes to beat you. But Yasin remained competitive throughout this event. For me, I don't take that for granted. For many of us who have watched football, we know that it is one thing to be a Leicester. It's another to be a Manchester United. To be able to defend a championship year after year and you remain on top. It is not easy to remain competitive. And that is Yasin for you. He did not win this event, but he remained competitive even when everybody had come for him. It was like an onslaught. Everybody had come to beat Yasin on his home ground. And in as much as Karan Patel once again won this, Saman Vora, who was leading the entire, I think he led the entire
from the start.
From the start. He only lost it in the last 2 stages and was in second. But for Yasin to remain there, for me, that is not something to be taken for granted. And I want to take my hats off for Yasin. On the organizational side, the success came from the fact that we were able to attract all these guys to come because our flag off was unusual. It was not business as usual. You saw the branding was different. We were trying to move this event from just being a Ugandan thing to set the stage to be an international event.
One thing I liked about it this time around is that we managed at least to keep time, because most of these days I think the flag off has been happening almost during nights, but
yes,
at least this time around.
Yes, the ceremonious flag off happened very early. And even when you had the prize giving going on late, you saw that people were patiently waiting.
Of course.
People were patiently waiting because they had this confidence. And it is that confidence that we have over the years been trying to restore amongst our people, that the Federation is able to deliver quality things. And I think on that front, we delivered. People don't know that we are immensely struggling with logistics, immensely. But the fact that all these volunteers were able to understand that this event must be a success. We have this thing in motorsport, in the federation, which we say that kazi kwanza, complain badai. First work and then complain. So we agreed that, okay, the logistics are down, but our sponsors have put a lot of confidence. To deliver the PAL, you need about 600 to 800 million shillings, Uganda shillings. And we are trying to tell the government that the PAL can no longer be part of the National Rally Championship. It should have an independent budget of the National Rally Championship, because it uses four times what you need to do an NRC. And this PAL showed it. But the volunteers insisted that we must have a successful event. We cannot bring our sport into disrepute. They worked, finished the event, and then we can go back to the boardroom in Rugogo and start saying, for me, you gave me so much money, but these are the debts I have accumulated in my department. When can we have this resolved? The good thing is National Council of Sports has assured us that after the swearing in, which has just passed, they are going to be working now on the quarterly disbursements. So we are confident that government is with us. And for me, the other thing that came out strongly was that for the very first time, the president of this country recognized and officially sent somebody to come and represent him with an envelope also. The envelope was 20 million shillings. I can also tell you that the State House Comptroller already sent that man on the FMU account.
That's very
Football started like that. State House was giving them 5 million, but that was recognition. After the man has recognized you, you know that he can now put you in his plans. And for me, that is one of the things that made me very happy.
You've talked about the entries. We had so many entries, of course, from across the country. I mean, how did you manage to attract? Because it's the first time that we've seen so many entries, of course, coming outside of Uganda, competing in the Pearl of Africa Rally. How did you manage this?
Okay. For the entries, it started at the safari. Okay. It started last year. Last time I was here, I told you that the Africa Rally Championship is threatened because it, according to the FIA, it no longer made sense. The entries were very few, and many of them were older people. So the FIA was demanding for grassroots, but also most importantly, increased entries so that the championship makes sense. It doesn't make sense for a person to become a champion when they've been competing alone the entire circuit. So as African federations, we have been engaging with each other to see how best we can improve the entries. And particularly for the PAL, when we went for the WRC Safari, I was given a specific assignment from the federation. Go and make sure you get us entries for the PAL. So I spent a lot of time in the service park and talking to all these drivers, tent by tent, service tent by service tent. I would go to Hamza Anwar's place. Then from there, I go to Yasin Nassan, tell him, Yasin, some of these guys I can't approach. Can you do the job for me? But even before I traveled, I went and sat at Yasin's office and told him, Yasin, I have an assignment from the federation. Are you able to help me? These guys are your friends, they are your colleagues. And I can tell you Yasin has done a lot to attract fellow drivers. And for me, this is something about Yasin that is quite different. I've always asked him why he does it. Yasin is the kind of person who is coming to compete with you, but he supports you to be able to
compete with
to
him.
compete. I first saw it, there's a time he was really on the ARC. That ARC he missed out narrowly before last year.
Yeah.
He was helping Karan to cross borders. I was telling him, you let the man not come.
At least he misses out one event.
Let him miss this event. But he was helping him. Ray, you write for me these letters. Karan wants to pass through Uganda. I was telling him, let us sabotage this. He told me, no. An event is sweeter when you're competing with people. So that exemplifies Yasin. He helps his competition to be part of.
I remember one time when in Burundi, by the way, he stopped because Karan Patel had gotten an issue. So he had to stop to see what Karan may be.
Yes.
And maybe if he had not stopped...
And those are some of the things we used to see back in the day.
Yeah.
And Yasin has, if I have done something to attract, I think Yasin has done the bigger part for me and for the federation. So the federation was very intentional. We also put some incentives for people to come, like they were not paying the usual 250 entry fees. We exempted them. We were giving them accommodation free. We were helping with the logistics at the borders. We extended fuel incentives to help them do the recce. So those are some of the things we put in place. And I think that helped to bring in more entries. And those who missed are still calling me and telling me, Ray, we missed this one. So I tell them that first and foremost, let's go do Rwanda, let's go to do Tanzania, and then we do it again next year.
Yeah, you never know. So, Mr. Ray, could we say that this Pearl of Africa rally was a success?
It was a success. It was a very... I think I couldn't ask for more for the Pearl. We had the FIA officials come here, and I think the ratings were good. The stages were quite different from last year's because these ones were quite technical. They demanded resilience, they demanded strategy, speed, but also control, because the chances of breaking the vehicles were also there. So it was a blend. It demanded a lot of strategy compared to last year's, because last year's stage were just fast. This year's, they were technical. But also the level of safety that we put in. When William did not come, I first found out that William was not coming because I had used my contacts to find out if he had boarded the flight which we had booked him. Then I realized that he hadn't come. I had been speaking to him.
Personally?
Yes, I had been speaking to him. I had prepared. He had told me, you prepare a room. My room must have ABCD in it, workstation and all that. Then he did not come. And I received an email, FIA, saying that they are giving us another guy from Spain, and they were asking us to help with the visa. I didn't know that a visa in Uganda, getting a Uganda visa, if you're coming from Europe, it's not that easy. You apply and wait.
I thought it was something like
instant,
you apply and you get instant.
Because me, back in the day, you would come to the airport and they issue a visa at the airport. Now you have to first apply, you wait 7 days. So the guy applied in the morning and he had to travel in the evening. I received a call in the morning. First, to tell me that William is not coming, but with no reasons given. And then I had to use the different contacts that we have accumulated as FMU to make sure that that visa comes out immediately. And it came out within about 2-3 hours. Then in the evening, we're told that the gentleman was also not coming because of vaccines. Uganda needs a lot of vaccines, apparently, for you to enter. I didn't know Uganda was that strict.
That very strict?
I always it was an easy entry. But I am partly happy about it because now I know that our country is that serious.
Because that's the same way they treat us when you're going. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just that. Any country, it should not be easy to enter any country. So I am happy that tetweguya naffe abantu balina okutuukiriza all the regulations. But the man not coming also put us in a situation where we had to now up the game. One, because I remember in that meeting, all the people were saying, Haji Gombe, all the things that you have learned from William, because now the focus is going to be a lot on us because William has not come and the man from Spain is also not coming. I think it was called Alejandro. Alejandro is also not coming. But most importantly, the FIA Safety Department, headed by Nicholas Klinger, the same person who came to supervise the yellow card, he was doing the rally of Portugal. But every other minute, he was calling us. He was monitoring the event online. So it put a lot of pressure on us. It also meant that we are going to deploy more and be more vigilant because, you know, when you're not being supervised, that is the time when you cannot let your guard down. So I am happy that the safety marshals of FMU did a very good job. I am happy that the event management team, and this is the day that I saw Haj was sweating, he had veins in his face, and his assistant, Said Kaketo, they were moving up and down, deploying the army, the police, and all these, coordinating all these security departments with our marshals. It turned out well.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, maybe lastly, let's talk about the performance. I don't know who stood out for you because we had a lot of competitors who, for example, Saman Vora had a very good performance from the start, but things didn't work out well for him. On the NRC, Ronald Sebuguzi also had, of course, a great performance, but during the end of the day, things, of course, didn't turn out. I mean, on your side, who had that impressive performance on your side, talking about the various categories?
Actually, for me, on my side, the person that stood out for me is a guy from Tanzania. Not Manville, but Randip, his brother.
The guy for the Proto.
First of all, their father is a personal friend of mine, Satinda. I've known Satinda for a zillion years. We are always discussing at the FIA meetings. He's the head of AAT, their federation. He's their father. But I always underestimated their level of competitiveness. So Vora was fast. Karan was fast. But it was expected. These two boys, I did not expect them to be that fast. And yet, oh boy, these guys just, if they were doing the ARC, these ARC people would have been in trouble. But they were doing our NRC. They had asked me to do the NRC. Randip was, for me, the man of the day, man of the event. They were posting times which I could not believe. They were beating almost everybody on day one. And they stood out for me. Those two boys, the Assas team.
Assas brothers,
The Assas brothers. Manville, of course, had some issues, I think, on day two, and then he started going down. His brother also had some issues, but he quickly picked up. Of course, the other person, who was a man on a mission, was Saman Vora.
Yeah.
Saman had a small incident in the stages with one of our former drivers, Desh. And he caused a lot of his co-driver. Saman's co-driver was Drew Starrock. Is a very close friend to Nicholas Klinger. They drove together in those years. So he called him immediately before he even called our safety people. And heads were going to roll until we assured them that this incident is a one-off. It is unfortunate, very unfortunate, by the way. It is very regrettable, especially coming from a person who has a background as a rally driver, forcing him his way into the stages. But it was quickly stopped. And for me, it is the intervention that I applaud. Our people quickly intervened, and it did not happen again anywhere in any other stage.
For starters, Mr. Ray, for a person who didn't know maybe what really happened, maybe describing him, what exactly happened? Because so many people, by the way, who were in stages, many people even thought that maybe Saman Vora had dropped out, but unfortunately, I think heading into the power stage, you saw him. What exactly happened?
No, those are two different incidents. Saman had a suspension issue, and he lost about 8 minutes, which took him off the grid. But the incident he had,
the one that you've been talking about,
people are talking about, was early morning when Desh entered the stage, a live stage. He passed the safety marshals and entered a live stage when Saman was coming, and they almost had a head-on.
Yeah.
It was just out of sheer skill and luck that this did not end in a disaster. But they quickly picked up.
Okay.
So that one did not affect his times. His times were later affected, I think, in the third stage, when they had a suspension issue and they had to park on the side and work on the car. And they lost about 8 minutes. So there were two different incidents.
Okay.
Yes, but ours, the one I'm talking about, was a safety lapse, and it was a very unfortunate one. But we are glad that, first of all, it was not because our safety people were not working. It is because somebody forced their way into a stage, throwing the weight around. And the Federation has said that we are going to take it up, because the FIA is asking what action we have done about him. Then one of the things that would have been the downside of the event. But I am happy at how quickly it was manned, and we picked up very quickly. So that is something which I am happy about.
Maybe lastly, Mr. Ray, any moments that you didn't expect in this Pearl of Africa rally? They could be good, they could be bad. Any moments, of course, that you didn't expect in this event, but unfortunately they happened.
Yeah, there were about some moments, and some of them we've talked about them. For me, the no-show of William was a shocker, and then a subsequent passing of William immediately after the Pearl. For me, I think that is the lowest moment, because William has not missed an event since he started doing this, but he missed the WRC, and we did not even think that there was something, because he remained talking. William was an indestructible man. He never revealed that there was anything the matter with him. The day he was supposed to travel, we were talking, and he told me, I have an important meeting. I did not know that meeting was going to be a meeting with his doctors, where they told him that he would not live very many days left. I asked him, William, is there any issue? He told me, Ray, I'm very fine. You just schedule me for the next day, I'm going to come. And then when he didn't come, I tried to send him messages. He didn't respond. And different people were trying to talk to him. So that was a law, but it's a law in retrospect that actually that William was in pain. He spent most of his time counseling many of us who were in pain, and yet were not able to counsel him when he was in pain. So that is one of the low moments. The second moment was the one I've talked about, the fact that an experienced rally driver entered a live stage against the advice of our safety marshals in an international event. It could have been disaster. So that was also a low moment. The other low moment was the prize giving, which, you know, when the rally driver finishes an event, they want the prizes. They are tired, they are hungry, they want an event to finish completely so that they can now have their social life. We delayed them up to, the prize giving ended at about 1 a.m., 1:30. The media was tired. The lighting was not so good, so I don't know how the pictures look like. Well, the lighting was good because we had prepared for a night prize giving, but people were tired. The officials were tired. Everybody was tired. And that delay still remains unexplained. It was technical, but it remains unexplained. What I know is there was a protest from one of the Kenyan competitors, which birthed other protests. But good enough, it was unfounded protest. It was dismissed. And then the results were read out and prize giving went on, but people were tired. And for me, personally, I was very tired. That was a low. But on the whole, all these things come to naught given the general success of the event.
Yeah, sure. Maybe your last remarks as you wind up?
As we wind up, first and foremost, I want to send my sincere condolences to the entire Africa for the passing of an icon, a friend, a mentor, a trainer, a man full of life, William Andrew Law. May his soul rest in peace. Then maybe finally is to thank the partners we had during the Pearl Rally. This event would not have been a success without, one, the media. The media made it look like if you don't come for the Pearl, then you probably don't live in Africa, or you probably will never have another event ever. The job the media did made people from Europe to call me that this is going to be the biggest event. So the media has made Uganda the leader in motorsport organization. And that means that the bar has been set high for the next event and the next event. So thank you to the media. Thank you to the title sponsor, Shell V-Power, who have stood with this event for so many years now, about 10 years as title sponsors. And they are relentless. They don't want to lose it. But there's an onslaught for them from other two big sponsors who will either be asking for co-title sponsorship or they will want to take it. So for me, that is healthy competition. KCB wants it. Uganda Tourism Board wants it because this is an event that has been able to sell the tourism of this country. So I think it would not be, I would be unfair to conclude this without thanking our sponsors and partners, Uganda Tourism Board, KCB Bank, of course, Shell V-Power, the title sponsors, Kiss Condoms that came in a bit late. I think they feared Mbarara is a risky place, I've been told, and they decided to come on board. The government of Uganda that supported us in almost all the other ways. The finances delayed, but they were present for security, they were present for speed lifting instruments, they were present in so many ways. The government of Uganda was present. Of course, our hosts, Lakeview Hotel, Mwesigwa Rukari, who hosted us at the circuit. The dust was too much, but that is a solution that we shall have next year. And the awesome fun. You know, the fun of Uganda makes the terrain of motorsport on the African continent different. Every driver, every sportsman wants to hear people shouting while he does his thing. People cheer him, and you can never get the better of it anywhere else. It's only in Uganda where people will cheer you on and on, whether they know you or not. Just do a good thing, and the fans will be there to cheer you.